So as expected, nobody bothered me, but it was kind of a weird night. Didn't sleep real well, had weird dreams, things like that. And today is the day I've been dreading, the big road walk. Hopefully the big road walk. If it goes bad, it'll be a part of a road walk and another stealth camp. He's been huffing at me. He's not happy I'm here. I'm just getting out a little earlier than usual. I did a quick triage edit, but I want to get on the road. I'm at about mile 3.5 or so of this section. There are legal camping options around mile 24 and around mile 29. If I can, I'd really like to get to at least mile 29 and just have this all behind me. This has been kind of like the biggest worrying thing of this section. Just if my feet melt down, I can road walk. I've road walked before and it's been great. And then I've had things like the Condor Trail where it's like, oh yeah, this is no problem. I'm just going to pound this out. I have practically a PhD in road walking now. And then my feet just decided to melt down and I ended up having to like camp illegally on the side of PCH. Wasn't the most pleasant. That also resulted in me having to buy a $38 burrito. Jen wasn't happy. My toes have been fine, but I was getting a little bit of sensitivity in the arch. It's these Olympuses. They've got foam and no rubber right here, so I think it just transfers, you know, the rock points and everything straight through. I'm trying to be careful of where I walk and how I walk, but you can only do so much. So I'm doing all the things I can today. I've got my brand new socks, last pair, and I've got the underwear that have the least holes in them. My legs look kind of like I had an altercation with an evil cat, but oh well. You know, legs heal, pants do not. And pants are expensive. It's going to be about a 18-mile road carry or water carry today. That's why I carried the extra water here. I wanted to make sure if that convenience store in T. Harris wasn't open, I still had enough water to make it through. Okay, 13 hours of daylight. Let's see what I can do here. So I have a few more miles of dirt and then it's going to become a paved road. So it turns out this creek was flowing the entire way down, so carrying the gallon of water down the road was a bit of a waste, but oh well, never know. Plus, considering that at the end of the day I had a gallon of water on my back feels okay right now. So the campground's up there. I basically went up on that hillside on the other side of those power lines. So this is that campground marked on my map. I saw the people in the van and decided I'd disperse camp instead. So I stopped by to use the restroom. Somebody had shot the toilet, like not the outside of it. They literally looked like they went in, took aim at the toilet, and shot the base of it. And people wonder why people with guns out here make me nervous. So if you've seen people doing the Grand Enchantment Trail and not doing this long road walk, there is an unofficial alternate. It is unofficial because it doesn't stick to private land or places with easements or things like that. So I didn't want to do it because I am putting these videos out. And I don't want to be the person that causes issues for what is a really, really cool trail. Doing that does keep you off into the forest. It's relatively remote. You're right against a bunch of fences. I think there's an Indian reservation out there and then patches of private land. And you cut off 8 or 10 miles. Believe me, I was sorely, sorely tempted. Principle of the thing though. Yesterday was the first day in a long while I didn't have rain and thunder around me. We'll see about today. Honestly, a little bit of cloud cover wouldn't be bad on the road walk. When Jen and I had to do that 30-mile grizzly reroute on the CDT, because a bunch of dead cattle, they closed the road because there were like grizzlies and wolverines everywhere. It made it far easier because it was cold and raining. It was too cold to stop, so that kept us moving. And it was raining, so we weren't going through a ton of water. If it was a little bit miserable, probably cut down on the traffic that was zooming by us. And that was another one where some folks were commenting about how dangerous it was, wasn't safe to walk, that was why they skipped, etc., etc. And it was fine, as long as you walk facing traffic and you pay attention. And statements like that are going to be really ironic in the future if I'm killed getting run over in a road walk. This is the sort of road walk I like. Quiet dirt roads. And that's why I don't like drinking out of roadside ditches when I can avoid it. They're not too bad if you can get them before the road and before they have a chance to run through trash, paint, God knows what else. And here's Metropolis number 1. So this is my water stop for the morning, and pretty much the only water stop for a better part of 20 miles from what I hear. I also grabbed some essentials, breakfast burritos, enough Skittles to get me through the end of the trip. These, which I had once on the AT and highly regretted, but they look good today, I don't know. Guy said he's seen hikers about every other day for a while now. All road walks should really start off with breakfast burritos. Maybe less dogs. Indeed. Damn it, zoned out for a while and missed a turn. So I'm not sure how much I added, probably a mile or 2. That's what I get for getting lost in the audiobook. Unfortunately, enough traffic to make the audiobook a little hard to hear. Trying to be very careful with my feet on this one and let them air out off and on. I'm about 11, 12 miles in. So this isn't bad as it goes. I could even stealth camp between the fence and some of these trees where I wouldn't be seen, and I'm pretty sure I'd be fine for the night. Only annoying thing is high-speed traffic overwhelms my earphones, so I keep having to start and stop my audiobook. I really need to get some noise canceling ones to carry with me for this stuff, I guess. 16 miles, it's a little before 1 o'clock. There's a store at 24:25 that I need to reach to get water. Also, I really hate the sound of traffic. I think that's another sensitivity coming from being in Orange County. This is why we're leaving the campgrounds. Especially when I just want to sit here and listen to my audiobook. Well, that put a smile on my face. I've been here pretty much fantasizing about somebody stopping with like iced tea, icy Dr. Pepper. Ice is pretty much the thing. And somebody yelled over to me, had a watermelon, gave me a bunch of big pieces, and we were just chatting. Really nice guy. I will admit I kind of lost the spring in my step. Started out this morning, I was waving to everybody that swerved around and whole thing. And now I'm just kind of eyes down, get it done with. As always, I'm taking the slightly longer route. Okay, just been looking ahead. I'm around mile 720. If I can make it another 8.4 and it's still open, there's a grocery store. I can get water, and then a bit beyond that, there's a camping area. That'll get most of this road walk done with, and that's what I would prefer. There's also a store in about 5 miles, and there's a restaurant somewhere in the middle, but I have enough time to finish this. I don't have time to screw around. That's okay. Watermelon guy made my day. I am having to conserve water a bit. The clouds are still in that big, fluffy, occasionally dark, maybe it'll turn threatening, maybe it'll fizzle mode. And the traffic's been pretty constant. Okay, I am thirsty. The owner of the store was nice enough to fill my bottles inside, and I bought a couple liters of Gatorade to chug while I sat outside next to the plug. So that store, not only did I get things to drink, but I walked in and there was a lady wielding not one, but two swords. Clark had an open carry pistol, but that just seems the norm for here. And then I got wished good luck by a wizard. So technically I show this as state land. Technically I could go and bivvy back there, but there seems to be an awful lot of buildings and things. And if I can make it about 5.6 more miles, I think that puts me back in National Forest and done with this whole thing. So it looks like this is where the trespassing halt comes back in. Almost there. Another hour or two and I should be in National Forest land where I can find another stealth spot. And I'm gonna guess that those are the Sandias up there. Okay, looks like I made it. I'm gonna go a little further and there's a spot to go run off into the woods. So I went to a place, reached the place with the National Forest land, went off the road, found a spot maybe 100 feet from the road, just perfect for camping and all that. And then there was somebody around there who was acting kind of off. Like if you Google junkie, the picture is going to be pretty much him. And he seemed to be kind of paying attention to me a bit too much. So I've now dove way back in the forest. So I think I managed to give my friend the slip, and I'm far enough back in an area where I don't think I'm visible from any trails. Normally I like to be in some brush a little better, but any of the brush I could find was visible from one of the trails. And I don't know what the deal is with camping around here. It's been quiet back here, and I can't get any more away from the trails than here. So going out towards the trees would be counterproductive. And I don't have it in me to do many more miles today. My feet hurt. It's been 25 miles on pavement. I'm feeling pretty good because it's done with. Snapper just finished. I just heard from her. She was going to come bring me water and Gatorade, but timing didn't work out. So hopefully a couple more days. Currently Thursday, and most likely I'm figuring I'll finish on Sunday, which means a nice comfy motel and waiting for my parents. So here's hoping nobody comes across me here. Home sweet home for the night.